Okay, everyone, what I want you to do is go pick you up a copy of my book. It's right there in the link. I'm going to talk to you today about the time wall principle, how people are getting whipped, how corporations are getting over on us. Why is the time wall, knowledge of the time wall principle important to America, you know, to America's future, to any businessman or any businesswoman, or anybody for that nature. You say, well, this guy looks like a bum, don't take advice from broke people, yada, 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 whatever, fill in the blank. Well, I did time in the penitentiary, all right? I've done time in jail, so I guess that's one thing I may be qualified to talk about is time, doing time management. That is what I find to be so pivotal to an individual's success. And I'm going to show you why the time wall is fucking awesome. What I'm doing right now on this live streaming, I'm out here building a time wall. I've been on here for, a minute, 23 seconds now. And, I don't have a lot going on as far as users in here, but I'm building a time wall as I speak. My speaking is going through fiber optic cable. It's going into YouTube's ingest server, and there are end users at the end potentially that are watching me speaking to them. How am I doing this? I'm operating by the principles in the book. Now, day in and day out, I see that the principle in here is true, it is valid, and it is tremendously powerful. Each individual, if you're reading the book, has 86,200 seconds in a day. We call it fuel, units of energy. There are three main units of energy that a human being can use to construct anything within reason, unless you're like me and you're being bird boxed by rich fucks. That's time, it's money, and it's knowledge. Those are the three things. Number one, you got to have the knowledge. You've got to know how to do something. Back in the day, they called them scribes. Slaves were not, hey, Muhammad, how are you, buddy? How are you, my friend? Welcome. Thank you for coming. Back in the day, they didn't allow slaves to write. They couldn't read, they couldn't write. And even kings, pharaohs and stuff, way back in the day, they would have people called scribes that would write things. It was very, very, very impressive. Back now today, like this book right here, I had to learn how to forecast storms to create this. That's the knowledge. I had to channel money. That means actually purchasing a copy of the book. And then time, the time it took to write the book, the time it took to for the manufacturer to print the book and bring it back here. Thank you for being here, sir or ma'am. But like I said, the time wall principle is how we're all getting whooped. Right now, I'm in here for about 3 minutes and 50 seconds. My buddy Muhammad's in here. He's spending some time listening to me teach, and pretty much that's a time coefficient. I'm supposed to earn money on it. When this video is completed, it stays in the library for posterity. I'm able to go on here, and I will actually show you the raw data, what the time wall really looks like in the flesh, and how much money. I actually made $3.22 the other day. Every day that goes by, I'm earning money. And I'm actually trying to stay on task here. This is what it looks like. When you actually get the keys to the kingdom, this is what it looks like. And I'm going to show you why this principle is powerful. A lot of people, they're trying to take my stuff here. It's very popular. We're going to show you this whole year, 2019. This is time wall. You see, we're actually building a wall right here. 782,400 minutes. So essentially, If you divide that out, that's going to be some crazy number, probably like 10 years, 20 years of people that are coming through and listening to Terry Tyler content. Now, a lot of the content isn't per se Terry Tyler content. Muhammad, I don't know if you've checked out Dan Pena's videos and Dan Locke's videos. I got a Tale of Two Dans, Sam Ovens videos. I do the 8 Hours of Change Your Life series. I feature prominent businessmen. We've got the 8 Hours of Donald Trump on there. We've got the 8 Hours of Ziad Abdel-Nour on there, and also Arthur Robinson Jr. He's on there. These are tons of knowledge. Tons of knowledge. The more knowledge you build into your mind, the more powerful you're going to get. Ziad Abdel-Nour, he says the main thing, business is war. Yeah, you got to check out Ziad, man. He's from Lebanon, and he's a real trippy guy. Like, he says business is war. He says intel is everything. And unfortunately, we start talking about intel, which I guess technically falls under knowledge. You know, time, knowledge, money. So yeah, I mean, intel technically you can throw into knowledge. You have to know your enemy. If you don't know your enemy, how in the fuck are you doing anything about him? He's hacking into your computer. I can't stop him. My computer science skill, and this goes back to time wall. This is why the time wall principle is so powerful and so devastating. And if you buy my book, like I said, the link's right there, you can use it for offensive or defensive purposes. What I'm using it for right now is defensive purposes. I'm spending time to build up my network so I have financial security. I'm converting time. This is Hermetic alchemy. This goes back into, like, I don't know, I've also got intros to the occult. I like to study some of that occult stuff. And the Hermetics basically is the transfer of a base substance to a pure substance, i.e., lead to gold, crumbs to bricks, peas to keys, any way you want to talk about it, any way you want to cut it. That's precisely what that does. So what we're doing is we're taking the time energy, like now I'm 8 minutes in, and we're converting it into potentially, hopefully, financial energy. You have to have a certain amount of money to survive. Here's the thing. Like I said, this is one of the big quotes in the book, and we can say it here. There are 782,000 minutes of Terry Tyler content. For example, I've had it on here, Mr. Bilal. I've had run concurrence on here. We may have 5 different people in the chat room watching me, meaning I run the chat for 30 minutes. I get 120 minutes of value. So we're talking about a coefficient. We're actually multiplying the effects of the time wall, because the individual, he can't fucking do it. That's where we get into automation. We get into what they're doing right now, the AIs and the networks where you can actually program. And I hate, that's the way to go. People that have a lot of a BuzzFeed, a lot of people that come in, they got 20,000 fans or followers. They're gonna implement some form of automation. I don't like that. I'm more of an old school guy. I don't have 20,000 followers right now. So I like the one-on-one engagement. I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if it's Tim Ferriss or it was one of these guys. No, it was this guy, this young cat. He does video. He teaches how to do video, and that's where I learned it from. I don't remember his name, but he said you need 1,000 good followers, 1,000 loyal followers that follow you. Now, I've got 2,000 subscribers, but I wouldn't call these people loyal followers. And I also have a lot of beef with these companies. I've been fighting YouTube tooth and fist, and I actually am starting to get some YouTube respect back and some YouTube loyalty. I don't believe they're censoring me. And they give me a lot of knowledge. So, I'm getting that loyalty back. They finally turned the money on. I've worked for them for 6 years. They raised the bar. I hated it when the adpocalypse came. They said, you need 1,000 subscribers. And it took me about a year of pushing and pushing and pushing to get there. And then it took about 3 to 6 months of fighting to get the money turned on. And literally laws were passed. Our President Trump passed a law, the Music Modernization Act, because a lot of people were getting fucked. There were people making music and not getting paid. In this case, guys got to get, X amount of followers, subscribers, and there's just not a lot of money in it unless you're a big time musician. I've made 2 songs. You can check out. Cezus is my stage name on that. Faith and Blades of Justice. I've got a lot of other songs, but I'm dealing with something right now called bird boxing. I want you to be aware of this. Bird boxing, as far as I coined the term, I don't know if anybody else has coined the term, but in my definition of bird boxing is, I discovered that term at Twitter. I'm putting out hashtags. My hashtags don't show up, i.e., my Twitter account is being filtered and censored. No one else can see what I'm doing. Facebook is doing that to me. All the content, all the work I put in, I had 2,000 friends. They've isolated me from my peer group. I deleted all my friends, right? And they marked me with 31, which is a Masonic insult. I'm not a Freemason. I don't purport to be a Freemason. I don't hate Freemasons. I've got some knowledge on Freemasonry, that I've just learned on the quest. That's the only way I know what 31 even means. A perfect Mason is 32. There's actually 3 degrees. You've got your entered apprentice, you've got your fellow craft, and you've got your master mason. Your master mason's your 3rd degree. And, typically, which I'm not going to go into Masonic stuff, I don't want to be an eavesdropper. I'm just a simple Calvin. But when we talk about that, the candidate's initiated, he goes in, he does his Masonic thing. See, I've never been to the Mason Lodge. And as a matter of fact, I'm banned from the Mason Lodge. I said, how in the fuck does that work? I never knew a goddamn thing about a Mason. I never knew anything about Masonry, until I got older. And, we had a tornado, 3 tornadoes strike this area. I say 31, 31's the track length. I said, I don't think that's a 31. Pretty much what we have here is, I guess there's 2 different types of lodges. You've got your blue lodge and you've got your red lodge. I'm not saying that everybody should be a Mason. I was interested in the craft because I joined, like I said, the Lions Club. I was a good lion, and I like that type of stuff. When you're a lone wolf, it's best to find a pack. I tried to join the military. They weren't taking me because of my past. I've got a lot of criminal records. That's what, like I said in the book, I went to the penitentiary. I went to prison for a time, and I was raised in a very violent, very, very violent environment. And like I said, I've been very self-destructive, grown my hair out. I've become overweight. I used to run. I used to be really clean cut, clean shaven. And it's a form of self-destruction. It's a form of lamentation. We have a situation, like I said, the Facebook is censoring me. We've got 2 billion people connected across the world, and they're blocking me. And that's damaging, like I said, the principles in the book. We've got somebody that's using that for offensive purposes. For example, my news feeds may interact. I may have 200 engagement. My video may get 40 some views. All right. How many people which he keeps all the money. You know, the CEO, Zuckerberg, he keeps all the money. No, you know, I mean, I can't hate on somebody for being rich. I'm not going to be jealous of somebody for being rich. Hell, I mean, that's everybody's goal. It's everybody's dream, right? You know, my beef is, you know, a company that talks about community standards, you know, takes such a strong stance on hate speech and cyberbullying, and is, you know, being hateful and discriminating and bullying their own people. You know, I don't understand how a man has the goal to talk about making the world a more connected place when he's isolating the very users on his profile. You know, I cannot take a man on face value that censors my Johnny Pot seed or marijuana movement we've got here in this state that I live. We're trying to get legal weed, mainly for older people who are injured, you know, who need the weed. You know, we're trying to push that agenda. We've got people that are more paid and well funded. They're allowed to go, and they're silencing me because I don't have the money. I don't have the connections. The ones that I try to connect with won't deal with me. Why? Because I made some mistakes in the past. And that's where all these other entrepreneurs, all these other gurus that say, oh, you've got to fail to get to the top. You've got to fail to get to the top. And all of them say that. And it's true to a degree. The problem is, like I said, these motherfuckers today, they're hard on you about everything. And it doesn't matter what you say, they're gonna log your stuff in, and they're gonna come. They're orchestrating this apocalypse. They want to do away with all the religion. They want to do away with all this shit. You know, they want to put chips in your fucking head. They want to put bugs in your fucking eyes. They want everybody remote control operate on this Q system. It's a satellite system, integrated network of towers, cellular towers, and the people are under control. I don't even know they're under control. They're fucking completely remote control. Everything they do is remote control. But you know, we're going to try to stay on the time wall principle here and why it's important. Like I said, we're 17 minutes. If you have any questions, let me know. And don't forget to go out and pick you up a copy of this book. I don't know if I'm still going to be earning money for it. Amazon, we've got a lot of problems with Amazon. That's one of those Mason things. I don't know if you can see Amazon. It's AMAZON. You know, I don't know if the CEO is a Mason or not. If he's a Mason, it's a Mason thing. If he's not a Mason, you know, it's a slam at Masons. You know, I don't know what Masons do. You know, I don't. All I know is I ain't allowed to go because I broke the law. I had a few minor brushes with the law. You know, it's one of these things where if I knew in my heart of hearts, just be real, if I knew in my heart of hearts what I was doing very well, if I was trained to be successful, do you honestly think I would have done 9 months in the joint? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. You know, you raise a kid like that in a hellhole, and it becomes a hellhole. They expected me to die out. Well, I found a mentor. I found people that cared, and it brought me back to health. And I wanted to use those lessons to help people out and be an asset to society and try to redeem myself before I died. These people are blocking that redemption process. So, I mean, it really has a lot to do with your spiritual shit. I don't know, you know, what religion you are, but a lot of people that believe in religion, you know, believe in the ability to, you know, repent. You know, you're supposed to turn your back on what they call sin or evil. And, you know, like I said, I'm not really preaching on that tip. It's just, you know, anybody that believes in faith in a higher power is you know, regardless of what faith you believe in. But even those that don't believe in a God, I mean, if you don't believe in God, then it still don't matter. I mean, the principle still applies. But yeah, converting time into money. Ideally, I'll tell you what Dan Locke taught me. By the way, check out the 8 hours that changed your life, Dan Locke. I spent 8 hours with Dan, and I tell you what, I had to break it down over a week or two. It'll take you time to eat it. I rode with him for about an hour and a half on a storm chase, and it was one of the most incredible experiences of my life. The guy taught me the 4 different types of income. He said there's linear income, there's leverage income, there's passive income, there's windfall income. And he also taught me that passive income isn't so passive. It's not passive. You have to be watching your money. Like here on YouTube, the original idea, the guy told a story about Google, when they changed the ads, the guy was making, 7 figures. When they changed their ad rules, the guy's income went down. And, he thought that he was going to be making the money like that forever. And he ran through it and he ran through it. He'd get drunk, he'd get high. I don't know that he got drunk or that he got high. I'm adding that in there. But, next thing, the guy ended up broke. And here's another Dan Locke. God bless him. Dan Locke says, he says financial freedom is bullshit. It's bullshit. He believes in financial confidence. He wants people to be confident. Now, see, that's the proof right there. The 8 hours can change your life. It will. It will if you let it. There's a lot of good stuff on that 8-hour series. And, hopefully I don't get sued. I don't get any money on that video. I think the only one I'm pulling earnings on right now is the SAM, which wasn't claimed through Content ID. My commitment to YouTube as a platform, these people have dealt with the worst of me. They have been insulted. They have been threatened. They have been abused. And to be fair, I have too. I have been insulted. I have been threatened. And I have been abused. So, I'm like, hey, we've seen the worst of each other. We've been here for 6 fucking years. Why can't we start seeing the best of each other? I made promise when I worked here. That was one of one of my legacies is I wanted to fix Content ID and work our AI system to make Content ID better. And I felt like what I would work on was going to make not just Content ID and YouTube as a platform a better place for creators, for advertisers, and for viewers, but a better place for the world. The system that I'm planning on designing for YouTube is not just going to be used in YouTube. I mean, they can use the algorithm sense other places. Like I said, they want everybody to have a 4-year degree. That's why I'm on here doing this goofy monkey stuff right now and selling this book. I can't get the 4-year degree without the money. That's how they stomp the working man down. All right. And in this book, like I said, you only got 86,400 seconds a day. And unless you're on drugs or powder, you're not going to get the full day. Some of those Google Tech Talks will tell you, you've got your frontal brain. There's a certain amount of this, I don't know what it's called. It's not glycogen. It's some weird fucking thing that they talk about. And you burn it up. As soon as you wake up in the morning, you'll burn it up. And they recommend you do your intellectual activities. Like literally scrolling through a news feed, checking your emails, doing any of that type of shit just starts depleting that energy in the brain. Your diet, your exercise, all that bullshit factors into it. But you only have a limited supply of it each day. So unless you're on drugs, which they don't let you have no good drugs. They don't let you have any good drugs to enhance your performance. Like I said, I used to do powder. They say a man can't stay awake for 2 weeks. That's a crock of shit. That's a lie. That's a fucking lie. I stayed awake for about 2 weeks. Not one wink of sleep, not one fucking nap. And I could have kept going. The only way I stopped is I run out. I'm convinced that sleep is a fraud. And, I had a war on sleep, and I had a lot of people, they would come to me and they'd say, Terry, you're so full of it. They get up at 8 in the morning, they go to work, drink it. I said, keep on holding your lattes, boys. Keep holding your lattes. Time law principle, I do 3 times the work of one man. You ever wonder why Amazon employees can do 70, 80-hour work weeks? 70, 80-hour work weeks? Good God Almighty. I said, they probably let them, it makes work fun. That makes work more enjoyable. You last longer. You got more stamina. Rich people do it. And then they feed the poor people refined sugars. Fucks their goddamn body up. So, those of us who've done drugs, I've done about every drug there is on the market. I think I touch upon drugs in this book, but this book here is actually censored. I took all the cuss words out of this book. I wanted low-income kids to get access to it. It's not that I want to be successful for the rings and the watches and the bling. That's what it used to be. Now I want to get rich so I can go to fucking school and I can help make my country great again. The more fucking kids we got that are, writing books and investing in STEM careers and investing in military careers, it's a better, healthier economy. And then we've got fuckers like, like I said, Zuckerberg, that are going out of their way to censor me. And they're fucking me up. Like I said, I don't get that. I don't understand that. I don't understand how a man could have the balls to talk about bullying. We already covered this when he bullies his own people. His philosophy is just destroy the fucking world. They don't like. I talk to a lot of Nazi rhetoric, a lot of hate speech, and they don't want to let that go. Like, okay, that's fine. What this guy is doing makes Nazis look nice. He's logging all of your shit and he's planning on picking and choosing who he likes and killing everybody he doesn't like, so they can all worship him. That's what it is. 2 billion people on a network. That shit don't fly in Red China. That shit don't fly in Red China, and it shouldn't fly here. Like I said, how he's able to deploy these drones in these foreign countries like that is beyond me. I don't even think our military can fly these drones in those areas. And what it is he's winning hearts and minds as well. He may have conned 2 billion people, but just as long as he's a genocidal madman, and he is not about the shit he talks. Like I said, until he removes those numbers on my profile and restores my account to where it was, I really ain't got nothing for him. But fuck you. If you're jealous of a poor fucking kid with Asperger's in rural Mississippi, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Buy a copy of my book. But he fucked my seller profile up. I had a seller profile where I used to sell extensive network. I built that network up for a very, very long time. And I had a lot of connections. He squashed that out. So that really affected my bottom line. And by affecting my bottom line, I can't donate money to the causes that count. You know, I like President Trump. I enjoy donating money to the campaign. These guys' philosophy is just like, hey, fuck Tyler. You know, I've got $37 billion. Here's a $100 million check. Just get rid of Tyler. All right. Better yet, here's a $100 million check and we'll just steal everything Tyler's got and give it to Joe Blow. No. When you die, which will be someday soon, you're going to die a thief. You're going to burn in hell. If you believe in that shit. You're going to die a liar, and you're going to die a thief. You're a common moe. You're a common crook. You're a perverter of justice. You know, you censor and cover up the truth. You're everything you claim to hate. And to me, that's very disturbing. You know, a lot of people are alarmed about Terry Tyler and some of the off-the-wall bullshit he says. You know, you don't have to go far to find dirt on me, and that's okay. You know, I don't have to cover up my dirt. This guy covers up dirt. He covers up people he doesn't like, and that's precisely not the kind of person we need. You know, the guy wants to do that shit. So my question is to the military and the government is, why are they letting this shit go? Why are they letting it go? They clearly see. I mean, the guy has been out there. They put him on the stand. Yeah, you see the hate in his eyes. He hates you. He hates you. He hates you as bad as he hates me. He wants you all to go away. And he's working very hard. You know, his crew is working very, very hard and doing very, very well to come up with, you know, like I said, ways to put America to bed. He doesn't like America. He doesn't like Americans. And I don't give a damn how many initiatives you come up with. I don't give a damn how many poor babies you put on there. You put these poor babies on there. You know, they get your emotions up. Who gets your emotions up? He'll make a speech. I said, you're just not selling me, partner. You're just not selling me. Now, he's going to sell people on his network, probably. But I said, as far as convincing me, you're not convincing me. You're just not fucking convincing me. So, again, if anybody has any questions on this time wall principle, why is the time wall principle important? Why am I on here talking for this? We're going to try to do 45 minutes or an hour. The goal is to, like I said, get more people watching this. Is it for fame? Fuck fame. I don't like it. The more eyeballs watching me, the more fucking problems I got to deal with. People think I enjoy chasing storms. I'm scared to death of it. It's terrifying. It's hell on earth. You don't want a part of it. I'll tell you about a chase. Fucking Florence. When you've got a chunk of tree bigger than your fucking car, neck and neck with you, flying down the road faster than you're driving, you know you're in the shit. If that motherfucker been in the window, I'd be a dead man. When you have a goddamn chunk of tree the size of your fucking car blowing down the road neck and neck, faster than you're driving, you know you're in the shit. That's what I braved. Apple Maps fucked my fucking directions. I was first on the scene, helping clear roadways, helping people get home to their families. They don't talk about that. You probably don't even see it. Now, at that time, to be fair, to be honest, I wouldn't want to tell a lie. Facebook was working. And it's been a love-hate relationship with that platform. I've been abused. I've been experimented on. The platform treats me like shit. They're like, well, if you don't like it, get rid of it. I'm like, well, hell, all the phones come with it installed. You can't do shit without it. The way business is done today, all the businesses are done on Facebook. All the things that's going down is on Facebook. Everything's getting integrated around that platform. So, like I said, if you're blacklisted like me, how does that work? They obviously haven't accounted for that. I call myself a corner case. I'm a walking corner case. Literally. I mean, I have the worst luck in the world. I have Murphy's Law in the flesh. If something can go wrong, it's going to go wrong with me. I kind of like Tom Martino. I'm a troubleshooter. I may not have a lot of troubleshooting skills. I get very frustrated, but I'll find the problem. And I feel like, what he needs to do. I mean, he ain't got to do nothing. But if he wants to square things up with me, and the platform itself, I think what he needs to do is he needs to say, okay, says he wants to play cop. You've been cited for hate speech, for defamatory content. Fill in the blank. You are censored for 60 days, 90 days. You don't do that. They don't do that. They just block you off. You'll know you're censored when you have no interaction. I know I was censored when, like I said, I had over 2,100 friends, no contacts. The news feed became abusive. You don't have the option to turn it off, and they slip a Mickey in there, some hateful or some sick shit. It's like, hey, they don't like it. Like I said, Mark Zuckerberg taught me how to hate again. He did that. He did a great job too. I don't hate Jews. I don't hate Muslims. I don't hate Mexicans. I don't hate blacks. I killed racism. Every once in a blue moon, we'll get someone to piss me off, and I'll say a fucking racist comment. But it's not necessarily racist. I'm a stupid fuck. I'm ignorant. I'm not to that degree yet. There's only a limited number of insults you can throw at a motherfucker. And sadly, that's all you can do. They don't listen to your insults. They don't listen to your cries. They don't listen to you when you ask nicely. They want to be pimps. They want to be pushers. And that's what they're going to do. So there's really not a whole lot you can do in that case. Lawyers, if you're dealing with this right now, lawyers, forget about it. No lawyers have the guts. No lawyers have the guts to take on Facebook. If they are, I ain't found them. If they are, I ain't found them. You say, well, Tyler, who gives a fuck, man? Dude, you're a loser. We want you to die. All right. What happens when it's your kids? What happens when it's your country? This is your country, motherfucker. I'm an American citizen. People can question a lot of things about me. But they're going to have a hard time questioning my patriotism. I'm very hard on my country. I've said a lot of bad things about my country. They're very fucking passionate. And I feel like we're getting a dog whipped on us. You got rich punks. Like I said, I mean, guy went to fucking Ivy League, Harvard. You know, not just anybody can get in there. You know, you got to pay a $400,000 deposit. So obviously the people who had money. You know, the guy was. They like to talk about me being entitled. I said, motherfucker, you don't know. This guy up there, I mean, hell, he's just basically conditioned. You know, it's just like you breed a dog. You breed a dog in there, and that's what it does. I mean, anybody, any monkey, any son of a bitch that was in Harvard during that time, you know, this is the .com explosion. Any monkey, you know, that was in Stanford or Yale, you know, any bum off the fucking street could have done that. He just happened to be the guy. But the only reason that he got that shit was because he had a lot of people that had money that put him in there. It wasn't because he had any passion. It wasn't because he had any skill, which actually I'm not going to say. I can't cut the guy down like that. He's a very skilled coder from what I hear. Very skilled coder. He loves what he does. I just, you know, he's fucking with the world right now. And he's fucking with my life. And I don't like what he's doing. I think it's dirty. It's real dirty. And he needs to come right out and make things right. You know, I've come clean about everything. You know, I ain't got shit to lie about. Where do I stack up against some of these guys? It's like, well, you know, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. They don't see it like that. That's where the rig bullshit's exposed. And to me, I just, like, I'm not going to say the words because I don't want to offend a lot of people. They'd call me a racist if I said the shit. But I'm very rough around the edges, and I'm not a racist, but it's, you know, no X, no Y, no Z. We'll just say that. You know, for lack of a better term. I mean, if you're going to have that in your standards, say it. But this shadow boxing, this bird boxing bullshit, it's insane. My experience chasing storms, I have unearthed the fabric. I pulled up the goddamn skirt from the bottom up. I have exposed. I've seen the media machine. I've seen everything. I've seen how difficult it is and how it's rigged up against the people. I've seen the corruption of the fucking legal system. 60% of the shit is about drugs and alcohol. They push out alcohol. They give you these heart-exploding energy drinks. With I know sit all in there. And fucking, you know, neurotoxic laced cigarettes. I said, where's the coke, guys? Where's the fucking rolls, dude? Where's the rolls? The enemy has the rolls. The enemy has the coke. That's why they get so much done. Like I said, they said, man, I've been up for 3 days working. Ugh, he's ripped. I don't sleep. And everybody's the common man's like, how does he do that? He's like, we know. People in the know. He's on fucking drugs. He's juicing up. He's on drugs. And if he's not, he's a fucking dog shit liar. I know he's on drugs. Now we're talking about weightlifters right now. Like he said, my speech is pretty fucked up. This is another thing I'm doing. Time wall principle is the topic of discussion. I was learning from Dan Pena. And we were talking about, me and my buddy Muhammad was talking about Dan Pena. And I heard it on my own 8-hour seminar, or it's his shit, but the 8 hours, he said, He used to suck at speaking, believe it or not. He said his first 200 speeches was abysmal. By his third 300th speech, he was a public speaking motherfucker. And for me, I live most of my life in isolation. I don't see very many people. I don't get out much. And so when I do see one, it's often overbearing speech. I don't know if any of you struggle with that. It's overbearing speech. I'll talk over someone. It can be very frustrating to have a conversation with me. And it can be very frustrating for me to have a conversation with other people. I find that connecting with others is extremely difficult. And let's just throw another stone at the bird. I just don't understand how a man like me, I suffer with connecting and stuff. You'd think that they would try to help people and, instead of smash them into the dirt. But I don't see how a man who wants to make the world a more connected place is trying to stop people from connecting. It's a very lonely place to be. It's very sick. It's very cruel. And, I just hope that one day he feels that way. It's sad. I hate to say it, and I think he may feel that way. He may feel that way. I bash the Bezos. I bashed him on here, not because I have a problem with him. I've never had a problem. I've never met the guy. I looked up to him. I kind of look up to him. He's a fucking billionaire guy, just a regular old billionaire. But some of the things that he's going through in his personal life, just divorced. And you lose $70 billion. That's bad. When your wife leaves you, that's even worse. And I remember when my woman left me after 4 years I was with her. It hurt. It hurt real bad. It's worse than physical pain. You see, I've cut on my arm. It's just awful. It's awful. It is awful. And it's a fucked up place to be. It's a fucked up place to be, and it warps your mind. And you just can't trust anybody after situations like that happen. And it's a very dangerous place to be. A lot of people. If you read in this book, it's in the book. I cover that in the book, suicide and shit like that. It's a lot of people kill themselves. People that aren't versed, they call it EI, emotional intelligence. If your emotional intelligence isn't that high, or you haven't been exposed to certain things like that, a lot of people that kill themselves. About 30% of them kill themselves, especially your first time. A lot of your teenagers, teenage sweethearts. As I used to drink a lot, drink whiskey. 16, 17, I lost my first love, and it was bad. I almost didn't make it. It's very hard, you can put your heart and soul into it. It's a lot like my experience here on Facebook and YouTube. I do a lot of, I put like right up here at this local organization, I'm not going to mention on here out of respect, but I put my heart and soul in there. I volunteered for over a year. I designed their POS systems, their point of sale, their credit card readers, after credit card readers, ordered the credit card readers. I got them making the credit card sales. I designed their website, their Facebook page. I took all the pictures for their Facebook page. I won a raffle. We won a fucking prize for my Facebook page. We did golf tournaments, all the good thing. I learned a lot about business, parliamentary procedure, a lot about public speaking. It was a very great experience. And then we had, new motherfuckers come in. And the power, power structure changes, shifted, and the guy just didn't like me. I don't know, but it became a very hostile place to go. The place is predominantly Christian. I don't give a rat's ass what you believe. I listen to some Kabbalah. I used to be pretty heavy anti-Semite. And, you've got to fight anti-Semitism. You got to root it out of your head. You got to root it out of your life. And it's very rewarding to take that hate out of your life. It really, you breathe easier. You breathe easier. But what I was saying in connection to that is they unfortunately have a lot of hate. People say, Tyler, why do you still drink? Why do you still smoke? And do you worship the devil? That's the main thing. They're all the same. I'm one of the auspices of Satan, self-professed auspices of Satan. And the Satanic Church is supposed to represent knowledge, freedom of choice. There's not a lot of religion bashing. I'm also consider myself sort of a Christian. I'm the owner of Universal Mind Ministries, not-for-profit organization. I haven't really moved forward with my operation because I'm being followed. I'm being followed. So I'm not gonna give a country or a world. I'm not gonna give a world. I'm not gonna give a world the best of me. It gives me the worst of me. There's you. And I encourage you not to either. I'm not going to give a country or world. It's a global thing. I'm not going to contribute the best of me when they're giving me the worst of them. You're going to silence me. You're going to judge me. You're going to throw my mistakes in my face. You're going to kick me around. You're going to take my shit. Go ahead. You can use some of these exotic weapons. You think you got it all worked. These people here, they come down on me on the drinking. They didn't like me drinking at all. I don't think they know that I used to smoke weed. I don't really smoke. Maybe every now and then. It's one of those things where my personal lifestyle choices, as long as I show up sober and do a good job, shouldn't have a lick to do with anything. They want you isolated. They don't want you to be yourself. Like I said, they fit you for masks, and then they condemn you for it. It's a sick, rape roll game, and I went out. Like I said, I called the FBI. I called the cops. I mean, there's not a lot they can do. They ain't gonna do shit. So that was a big letdown. Who else you gonna call? The cops aren't gonna bust the crooks. I mean, you call the CIA or the NSA, they're probably owned in part by these fuckers. They ain't gonna do shit. And then you show them the shit and they think you're a goddamn liar. They think you're crazy. The rings, the 33rd rings, I showed it to motherfucker in the weather community and that motherfucker's scared of me. They think I'm a freak. They think I'm a liar. And that's the disturbing part, is that we have we have weather people that are professional. They won't even look at it. I think that when you're a professional and you're so pro that you can't look at a new case, that indicates to me you have a swollen ego. You're not as professional as you think. You know, if your ego is so goddamn big that E's got to go, like I said, that's where I come in, corner case testing serpents. And it goes back, like I said, we have 5 minutes left. It goes back to duty, honor, country. It goes back to the real 5-8 for the people that are Christians. Isaiah 5-8. You know, what you do to the least, you've done unto me. You know, what you've, you know, I'm hungry, you gave me food. I'm thirsty, you gave me drink. Yada, yada, yada. These people pretty much are doing the same thing. It's like, why can't we all get on the same page? Is what I'm trying to figure out. Why the hiding? Why the bickering? I mean, it's just like the guy, Frank Lucas, American Gangster. You know, Blue Magic. The guy was taking the blue magic and he was spinning it off on his own shit. And he's like, hey, you know, it's blue dog shit. You know, call it whatever you want to call it, but it ain't blue magic, baby. I'm sorry. There's only one swinging dick, steaky dick, red roasted motherfucker around here. And that's that. So it's funny to me. I see the shit. I don't know what it means. Someone up there knows what it means. Someone knows what it means. And unfortunately, what I think it means is we're all remote controlled. We're all cyborgs. We're all controlled by laser or electromagnetic wave. And I think that theory now, the more I think it, I'm actually getting sure on it because take a look at this chart here. You see that right there? By the way, check out this badass motherfucker. Yeah, that's badass motherfucker, ain't it? You see what these are? These are different wavelength frequencies. You would not have different car alarms. Think about how many fucking cars. There's more cars than there are people in this fucking country. Every one of them's got a boop boop to open the fucking door. So you tell me this. If it's not that far-fetched to have 325 million cars with their own frequency ID, it's not that hard to fathom that 325 million Americans have different frequency ID. That's why they don't work together. That's why it's divide and conquer. They are fucking robots. They're machines. It's called, I'm not going to reveal what it's called because that's secret, but it's, they operate on a certain type of wavelength. It's very easy to predict, very simple. You know, they stimulate the brain. It's nanoparticles they shoot into them when they do that immunization. You got to get your so-called shots. Nowadays, it's a lot more sophisticated. They put it in the beer. They put it in the food. They put it in the drinks. You know, you can't escape it. You may not get anything. You'll eat the shit, and then next thing you know, it's in your body. So that's all I got for this hour. like I said, if you see the video, comment. I know it's boring, but just got to keep building the time wall. Maybe one day it'll pay off.